Hello students, we are going to learn General Science for class 7 from the book Science Squad. Today we are going to learn chapter 3, Fiber to Fabric. In this chapter we shall discuss how a fiber is changed to a fabric. Let us begin the chapter. Since Stone Age, wool has been spun and woven. Modern wool comes from specially bred sheep. The best wool comes from the merino sheep. These are white sheep, origin from Spain. Silk is believed to have been discovered more than 4,000 years ago in China. The Chinese guarded the secret of making silk until 300 AD. Later, Japanese and Indians also learned how to make silk. Do you know how we make silk? Let us discuss. Wool. Wool is a fiber from the coat of a sheep. It is a long and thick kind of hair that can easily be turned into yarn. Clothing made from wool is warm and light and is comfortable. Merino sheep have the finest and largest amount of wool. The picture shows you the merino sheep. These sheep, the finest fleece comes from lambs. Some wool comes from goats and camels also. From goats, we get Angora or mohair and Kashmiri wool. Let us see how wool is processed. Number 1, first step is a shearing. A sheep is sheared its coat once a year. Then it is graded. That is, before the fleece is made into yarn for weaving, it must be graded for the color, length, fineness and strength of the fibers. The best wool has fine, strong, long fibers and is said to be pure white in color. So, in the first step of wool processing is a shearing and the second step is a grading. The third step is washing and squeezing. The fleece is then processed in a mill. Each fleece is torn apart and piles of wool are made based on the various grades. Each pile of wool is then washed and cleaned thoroughly to remove any grease and dirt on it. After washing, it is squeezed between rollers to remove excess water. The fourth step is dyeing. The wool is dyed in different colors. The fifth step is carding. The combed in a carding machine into parallel rows of fibers which are called slivers. The carding machine has wire-toothed rollers to separate the wool into loose ropes or slivers. The picture shows how the wool is made into threads, fibers. Rowing is a sixth step. A number of slivers are rolled into a thin rope called rowing, which will be used to spin yarn. The last step is a weaving. Now the fibers are twisted together to make yarn, which is woven into garments, rugs and blankets. If the combing is very severe, then the strong firm cloth called worsted bristles. If the combing is light, then a soft fuzzy yarn is made. This is how we get yarn from the wool. That is the garments also from the wool. Let us see what are the different varieties of wool Manufacturers produce three varieties of wool based on their origin. Virgin wool is a wool that has never been used before. Reprocessed wool is wool that has been knitted into unsold products and then respun. Reused wool is a wool that has been made up and used or worn, then respun again. Let us see what is the health problems that develop while working in the wool industries. The people doing the sorting work may get infected by anthrax bacterium, which causes a fatal blood disease. Sprains, strains, wrist and back problems are also observed among the workers of wool industries. Some more serious health problems such as giardia, leptospirosis, etc. are also found in these workers. So these are the health problems which arises in a person who is working in the wool industries. Leptospirosis, giardia or giardia, sprains, strains, wrist and back problems, and also get affected by anthrax bacterium. Silk. Silk is also an animal fiber that comes from the cocoon of silkworm moth. Cloth made of silk is valued for its luster, that is shiny appearance and silky texture. Silk fibers are strong, elastic and so smooth that dirt does not cling to them easily. Source of silk. Where do we obtain from the silk from? It is made from rearing silkworm moths. The eggs of the moths are placed in incubators and are hatched into tiny black silkworms. This now called it as a caterpillars of the moth. The silkworms are fed on mulberry leaves. They grow quickly until they are ready to pupate. At this point, the silkworm is placed in a special container and it spins a cocoon of silk around it. Let us see how cocoon is converted into cloth. After a silkworm spins a cocoon of silk around itself, then the cocoon is left and an adult moth emerges later. The farmer leaves a few cocoons to obtain moths to lay more eggs, and he kills most of the pupae inside the cocoons. The silk fibers is unwound from the cocoons called reeling. The cocoons are soaked in warm water and the end of about 6 threads are taken and wound together on a reel into a thread. The thread is called raw silk. The raw silk is next washed, dried and then twisted to make it into a thicker yarns by process called throwing. It is then boiled in a soap to remove its natural gum. Thereafter, it can be dyed and woven into cloth. Let us discuss about the varieties of silk. There are several varieties of silk moths. Some produce white silk while some produce yellow silk. Silk can be made into other fabrics such as satin and chiffon. The natural sheen of silk enhances dyes and allows material to be brilliantly colored. Let us discuss the health problems of a person working in a silk industries. First, he gets infected skin diseases. When boiling of cocoons, the workers dip their hands in the water. They get severe headache, fever and pain in the neck and low back. They also get respiratory diseases such as asthma and bronchitis. This is because inhalation of vapors arising from the cocoons when they are steamed, boiled, and breathed. Leg distortions are found almost in most of the workers of the sericulture industries. Let us have a chapter recap. Wool and silk are the main animal fibers. Wool is a fiber that comes mainly from the coat of a sheep. Some wools come from goats and camels. Shearing, grading, washing, dyeing, carding, rowing, and weaving are the various steps in the manufacture of wool into garments. Silk is produced from the cocoon of a silkworm moth. The silk obtained from the cocoons is called raw silk, which may be white or yellow. This ends chapter 3.
Vidya Prakashan Mandir Private Limited.